Purple Valkyrie, we are finding more woo-woo. Only this time, it's not about cryptids or potential unidentified flying objects. It is crazy things right here on the planet Earth. The article comes to us from NPR, and it is entitled, Scientists Discover an Ancient Forest Inside a Giant Sinkhole in China.
Yes, when you brought this article up, I was fascinated because I've never heard of this before. Obviously, this is the first time that this story has been brought up, and this is quite a substantial sinkhole. This isn't, just some little dip in the land that's been discovered.
No, because this thing is actually 650 feet deep. It is has 3 NFL American football fields wide. And then if you just look at it, there are trees growing all the way up the limestone layers that are there. Of course, limestone is an indicator that this was probably at the bottom of a seabed at one time. Cave explorers stumbled upon what they called a prehistoric forest. What would you like to find in a prehistoric forest, Purple Valkyrie?
Dinosaurs, of course, but I would imagine, as you say, if this is limestone, then there are at least going to be some very interesting fossils buried within the walls and the base.
I wonder how many dinosaur bones are there. I wonder what other stuff is there. But that country being what it is, we will never know. So these sinkholes are known in China as heavenly pits, and they're actually a formation called karst. And in the United States, we have about 20% of our actual landmass, which is made up of this karst. There are some major attractions I think a lot of people would be familiar with, that of course being caverns in New Mexico and then Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. I've been to both of those places. Super trippy.
Just quickly, out of curiosity, what is it like when you visit these places? Is it very different once you kind of go down into the?
Oh yeah, the way these caves and most caves are formed is by water dissolving limestone and rock to create these passages, and in some cases, these could have been ancient underground rivers that eventually sort of went their own way or went deeper. And once you enter into a cave, of course, especially Kentucky can be real hot and humid in the summer, and then of course New Mexico hot. Once you go down there, immediately you notice the temperature difference because obviously you're underground, and also the humidity increases greatly. Of course, if you are claustrophobic, that's probably one of the last places you want to be. But some of these structures are so mammoth and they are so tall and huge, they are just incredible to behold. Do you have anything like this in the UK?
Not really. I think it mainly because we're quite a small landmass. I mean, we do have quarries and lots of kind of underground caves that run through, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any huge kind of dips in the land that would class as one of these sinkholes.
This is not the only enormous sinkhole in China. Of course, that landmass is huge. This is probably one of 30, but it's interesting because we're only just hearing this kind of stuff now, added to the list of a whole lot of other crazy structures that are all throughout that major Asian landmass, including reportedly over 3 dozen man-made pyramidal structures.
Interesting.
And in many cases, those were deliberately covered over when the communists took over. Anyway, that's not what this is about. This is about giant sinkholes. Someone from the United States National Cave and Karst Research Institute, yes, that is a thing, actually told Live Science that, quote, in China, you have this incredibly visually spectacular karst with enormous sinkholes in giant cave entrances and so forth. In other parts of the world, you walk out on the karst and you really don't notice anything. Sinkholes might be quite subdued, only a meter or 2 in diameter. Cave entrances might actually be very small, so you have to squeeze into them. However, in this case, you can drive down or walk down into this 650-foot deep sinkhole.
Yes, and that would be incredible to get to explore. The first thing that came to mind when I saw this picture was it was like the lost world. You're almost heading down into this unexplored place that could have anything down there.
Absolutely. And of course, that's a book by Conan Doyle and part of the Professor Challenger series. It's one of the more obscure works by him, but at the time it was actually quite popular story. Fantastic character, Professor Challenger. I don't know I saw this and I really hoped there'd be like a triceratops or maybe, a pterodactyl down here. I'd even take a giant ground sloth.
Absolutely, and I would absolutely love to get to kind of explore something like this. I'm not a massive fan of cave systems. Not that I'm claustrophobic, I just don't like the idea of being so far underground. But going down to something like this, which is a vast open basin, I think that would be fascinating.
That would be pretty darn cool. And I'd probably spit in it, but that's the kind of guy I am. So
I'd get a drone and fly it down there and see what's...
Oh, see, that's why you're Purple Valkyrie and I'm just Salty Texas C. You're so smart. Thanks, everybody. We just wanted to give you something fun and wild. This stuff blows my mind. So we'll see you next time on Phenomenal.
Take care, everyone.
As ever, this is Salty Texas C. I am Corey DB. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. That way and we have things like live streams, which we are going to be doing every Tuesday evening. Take care. I hope you're having a great 2022.